nice to see you again. I'm sorry I couldn't leave you too much time. May I introduce you to Mr. Richard Walton? He'll be staying here for the month. Hello, Leslie. Nice to see you. Everything's looking spick and span. Not very keen on those plants there. Now, you see the land?
Yes.
Goes right up and over there.
Of course.
There. You see, right up there. All right, Richard, next gun, next gun. Come on.
I can't get it in.
You've missed it.
Hey-ho! Hey-ho, Scotland the brave. Hurry along there.
Yes, well, I think we're home just in time, really, don't you?
Richard, look, what's that?
What's that? Well,
Over there, over there. Angus, stop. Stop the car. Will you please stop it? Richard, over there. Extraordinary, Angus. What I saw you.
huh?
A mirage.
What did you see?
It happens occasionally in the moors.
I'll
Drive on, Angus, thank you. Right, Angus, drive on.
It won't start.
Why won't it start? But I thought this was service last week before we came up. Mrs. Whistlack. Mrs. Whistlack. Yes, what are you doing out here in that dress like that? And if I have anything, I want to put on a salver and deliver to me in the house. Thank you. Telegram.
Oh, it's from Helen. How jolly. Oh, that'll be nice.
Yes, but how are we going to fetch it from the station? With no car? Lovely to see you. Richard, will you bring Helen's cake?
Hello, dear.
Hello, Richard.
Do come in. I'll make a cup of tea.
Thanks. Hasn't that young man you like so much come in yet?
No.
Does he realize those beasts of servants left me at a moment's notice and we are doing all their work?
Of course.
Well, why isn't he here for his lunch at 1 o'clock as you asked him to be?
I'm nervous that something's happened to him.
Nervous that something hasn't. Will you pander to this man, Helen? Makes me ill.
I'm sorry, darling.
You follow him here, persuade me to let him stay here, you wait on him hand and foot. Oh! You make me so angry I can't speak.
I'm sorry.
There's nothing to be amused about. Having spent 3 weeks with him practically alone, haven't you discovered he's one of the most odious creatures that ever lived?
The only thing that I've discovered is that I'm the happiest woman in the world.
You don't mean to tell me you still like him?
I've never been so happy, darling.
God give me strength. How can you tolerate his unutterable selfishness?
Easily, it's part of his education. But one of the only things the Duke of Bristol is unconscious of is his selfishness.
And realizing that, you still like him? Terrible. Terrible. What's What's this?
A present for you. An appreciation of my gratitude to you. I telegraphed to London for it the second day I was here.
But for what?
For being the cause of my spending 3 weeks practically alone with dear George.
Oh, it's sweet of you, Helen, dear. And I adore it. And all that I can say is I hope you'll always be as happy as you appear to be now.
Thanks to you, darling, I'm going to be.
I take it he's asked you to marry him?
Not yet, but he's soon going to.
Well, I hope you'll be happy. Richard's been a long time gone in the village.
The hill back from the village is steep and 3 miles long, and owing to your servants leaving you and the car not being ready till this afternoon, he has had to climb it twice today.
But he left here before 12.
It's a steep hill, darling, and 3 miles long.
You would make excuses for anyone. Helen, as a friend, what is your true opinion of Richard?
I'm sure that Richard is the kindest, sweetest man I've ever known.
Yes, that's what he appears to be. Do you think it's genuine?
What do you mean?
You don't think he's merely giving a good impression?
No, I'm sure he's not. But if he is, darling, he's an unusually clever man.
In what way?
You haven't left much undone to find out if he has any particular weakness, have you, darling?
How can you be so horrid? I've never been as nice to anyone as I've been to Richard. Are you suggesting that I haven't been nice to him?
No. How could I suggest such a thing when Richard described you as an angel?
When did he?
Last night, this morning, always when he speaks of you.
Yes. But perhaps he said it, hoping you'd repeat it.
You must have discovered very little about Richard to even think that, darling.
Well, I'm glad you said it. Very glad.
Here's George. Isn't it divine to hear him so happy?
Oh, the beauty of it all. Oh, tell me, what is more exquisite than Scotland on a beautiful day?
You.
Thank God nothing's happened to you, George.
Why, did you think something had?
Yes, I did rather. As you went out, I asked you, as there were no servants, to be in to lunch at 1. And when 1:45 came, I began to think something terrible had happened to you. As you knew we had no servants.
Oh, I'm grateful. That's charming. Charming. But the truth of the matter is, I lost myself in my letter to the Morning Post on why England always loses at games. After lunch, I'll read it to you.
That will be divine.
I think it'll cause a sensation.
That you can write a letter at all will cause a great sensation.
You know, writing it has quite exhausted me. I feel quite hungry. Is lunch ready?
Lunch has been ready for 3/4 of an hour.
Oh, no. I hope it's not spoiled.
He hopes it's
I'll
not.
bring it to you, George, dear.
And what have you been doing, Maria, dear?
I have been cleaning up your filthy, untidy bedroom and cooking your lunch.
Ah, well, of course, if you hadn't quarreled with your servants, you wouldn't have had to do either.
I did not quarrel with my servants.
Well, then they quarreled with you, which is a mere distinction without a difference.
George,
Yes, Maria, dear.
look at me. Does my face at this moment express anything to you?
No.
Well, there is a hand at my side imploring me to let it smack your stupid face.
I forgive you because I realize that either through their or your fault, you've lost your servants and you're tired.
Oh, heaven help me to remain something of a lady.
There, George, dear.
Oh, thank you, Helen. Some bread?
I'm so sorry.
Oh, by the way, where's Richard?
Richard, at this moment, is walking up that hill with things that you will eat for your dinner tonight.
Oh, good.
Good.
I do hope he's remembered to bring me my Times.
I hope.
Bread, George, dear.
Thank you. Some butter.
Oh! In the cellar, there's champagne, moselle, hook, and claret. Please let me fetch you something.
Oh, you know I never drink at lunch.
Oh, but I want you to. I want you to let me fetch something for you.
If you'll forgive me saying so, I think your joke is singularly unfunny.
Butter, George. You would like some rice pudding?
Well, now, to say I would like rice pudding would be as inaccurate as it would be insincere, but to say I am hungry and I will have some rice pudding is an entirely different matter. Where's the cream?
There is no cream.
What?
Do you know what would give me more pleasure than anything in the world?
I cannot imagine.
To rub your nose in rice pudding.
Even if one is tired to one's own fault, one should try to avoid crudity, Maria.
Beast!
I'm afraid I didn't put quite enough milk in it, George, dear.
I agree. But what it lacks in milk, it makes up for in rice.
Throw it at him.
I can quite see why you lost your servants, Maria.
George, please.
Oh, I haven't said something wrong again, have I?
That is the second time you have insinuated that it is through my fault that my servants have left me.
Well, I'll put it another way. I suggest that one has to like you very much to stay in the same house with you, Maria, darling.
Beast. Beast!
It's too early to tell, Helen. You may have to fetch me a doctor.
Don't be ridiculous. Finish your lunch.
To describe a kick in the face from a horse as ridiculous is to me a little insensitive. Why isn't the damn thing bleeding?
I'm inclined to think it served you right. What pleasure do you derive from always irritating Maria as you do?
I irritate Maria? I'm charming to her. Not once have I, for Richard's sake, told her that she's a disagreeable old devil.
She's not as bad as that.
Why did her servants leave her?
Because...
You hesitate. You told me yourself that if you were a servant girl, you'd rather starve than work for her.
I had no idea you'd repeat it so loudly when I said it.
Let her hear it. It'll do her good.
George, please. With all her faults, I am fond of Maria. Richard, my poor sweet. Twice up that dreadful hill, you must be exhausted.
Yes, I am, rather. Thank you, Helen. Where's Maria?
In her room.
Oh. Is she all right?
Perfectly.
No, that's not true, Richard. I have some bad news for you.
What, Maria's annoyed with me for being so long?
No. What do you think? She pulled my nose.
Oh, what for?
I have no more idea than you have.
Oh, well, it doesn't seem to have improved it.
I don't, but... As she pulled my nose, I said to myself, if anything will infuriate Richard with her, this will.
Well, it hasn't. And if she pulled your nose, she had some excellent reason for doing so.
And this is the return I get for coming up here and staying with you and remaining under the most extreme discomfort and insults to help you to win her.
Let me tell you something, George. I haven't a chance in the world of winning her, and even if I had, it would be in spite of you. At least 50 times you've nearly damned my chances.
I wish to leave you. Give me my Times.
I haven't had time to get it.
You haven't brought me my Times?
I haven't.
Well, of all the selfish devils...
Silver! I suppose you forgot I told you I wanted those things at once.
Yes, I know I've been a long time. There were so many things to buy.
All right. I expect you met a friend.
Maria, darling, you obviously have no idea what it means to walk up that hill twice in one day.
Nonsense, just what he wants. Does him all the good in the world.
Yes.
Yes. Were you able to buy everything?
Everything.
No, that's not true. He forgot to bring me my Times.
Sit down and try and alter your monotonous voice.
I agree. It drives one mad.
Don't pander to her, Richard, just because you want to make a good impression.
I am being perfectly natural. I agree with her.
Then why did you tell me before we left London that my voice was my chief asset?
Did you tell him that, Richard?
I may have done. I only know if you don't tell him he's something he isn't, he sulks. Gramophone records, darling.
Oh, that was nice of you to bring them. I'm so glad.
I hate gramophones.
You sent my telegram?
Hello.
Richard, you don't mean to tell me you forgot to send it.
I'm terribly sorry. I'm afraid I did.
Oh, this is too bad. Do you realize I won't have a single thing to read for 2 whole days?
Yes, I know. I can't tell you how sorry I am.
Not just being sorry. If I'd known you were not going to send it, I should have gone myself. Oh, that's too annoying. But I noticed you've brought all the things you want.
Tell her to go to hell.
What did you say?
I said you look tired and not at all well.
No, I'm all right. Really, I am.
Of course he's all right.
Right, dear. I wish you believed me when
All
I...
right, please don't worry. It was not important. It was only my books. And I realize it's too much to expect anyone to remember such a trivial thing. I should have gone myself.
If I'd walked up that hill twice and a woman had spoken to me
Well,
like
as
that...
you haven't walked up it once, mind your own business. She asked me particularly to telegraph her her books. I realize it's most disappointing, and I'm terribly sorry.
You make me sick.
I will make you sick, George, if you're not careful.
Helen, I'd like you to walk with me. I'm anxious to read you my letter to the Morning Post.
If you've got any decency at all, you'll send that telegram for Maria.
I walk up that hill because Maria wants to read Don't Be Funny.